of even the medical challenges of the people, seen from any ordinary eye like myself, you see a sick community. And Chair, when the CS was just giving his first presentation here, I did not see the Duale that I know. I saw a CS with a giving up tone. CS, that is not what we expect from you, especially knowing you. We must face this issue of the oil spill. As health, you cannot give up for the people of Thange. I saw that, I listened as you said that health is devolved. But see, remember, you remain with policy and standards, and we must be there for this community. I even feel that you should really visit and see that community physically as they are presented. Chair, I made a remark there that I do not see years to come. People will talk of a community that once lived there if we do not take serious measures. So you really must do something, just as all of us are doing. But I think pipeline must be called to order, Chair. They must do more than what they are doing. And for me, I do not take it kindly that even the proposals of budgets that are preliminary proposed to address this issue, then pipeline is not providing. We need to get pipeline here to provide for those initial monies that are spelled out. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Beatrice. At least you know the CS has been very clear. You know, when pipeline was here, they were defending themselves. They actually didn't own up, and everybody owned up. NEMA said oil was still there, but pipeline was trying to run away from what you've said here, the challenges that they are challenging the report. So I believe, and we've agreed that as a committee from 21st Manzo to 25th, we are going to do a visit on all the lines so that we can check and also look at the leak detector, because they say they already have a system to do detection if there is any leak across all the line. So we need to check. So I want to give members, Senator Ledama.
Chair, okay.
Oh, yeah. Is that okay? Then maybe what we can do then, we make, because I've seen most of them are comments, so we make, if there are comments, and then now we do questions to the CS and then a response.
Honorable Chair, thank you for the opportunity. As I listen to the response from the Honorable CS, who is very competent and in whom many Kenyans have a lot of expectation for radical change to the way things are being done, I would say it's very embarrassing for KPC to be dealing with the matter of oil leakage from 2015, an entity at the level of KPC. What then do we expect from smaller companies? Let me say I'm disappointed with KPC because I know oil leakages across the whole world are taken so seriously, Honorable Speaker. They have a polluter pay principle. The minute you pollute, it doesn't take weeks for that compensation to be done, for the cleaning to be done. And it is even worse when we look at the devastating effects this leakage has had on a whole village or a whole area. And I want to request the Honourable Chair that matters of this nature, which need multi-agency approach, Honourable Chair, I hope you are hearing this, matters of this nature, which need a multi-agency approach, let's avoid inviting one entity without the rest, because we will be playing a ping-pong game. Because we have a report now here, we have a judgment of the court, and it is even so bad that matters of this nature have to reach court. It behoves on the entity itself to move without even being prompted by a court order to do what is right to reinstate the public, especially where their public health is at risk. We are talking about cancers. We are talking about deaths. We are talking about pollution that is happening. And we are talking about people consuming water that is polluted from 2015 to now. And then the intervention I'm seeing here, water tankers, really? Are they for real? I hope by the time KPC comes to this committee, they will have drilled the boreholes as a mitigation that what they have taken, the interventions they have taken, they are not taking people for granted or taking processes of this nature, involving parliament, involving judiciary, involving executive. How much airtime should be wasted on public resources when we are doing this nature of a matter, which has been handled over 10 years? I think it's untidy. We can do better. And I want to ask KPC, please, before you come to this committee, show responsibility. Show responsibility. Drill the boreholes, ensure, and not even one. Map the area. Because if you drill a borehole 15 kilometers from where I am, do you think I'm going to be fetching water from that borehole? Or the mama in the village, you manage to fetch water from that borehole? Please, can you drill it and ensure you supply clean and safe drinking water, safe cooking water to the community? And we want to apologize to this community. Things shouldn't be happening the way they have happened here. And finally, orders that have been issued by court, I assume KPC would have a very good insurance cover for their activities. And I want to remind them, just by way of sharing an earlier experience of what happened to Kenya Petroleum Refinery one time when there was a fire, a very heavy fire that killed many people. And Honorable CS, I think you lived in Mombasa then, and I lived in Mombasa then. And within a space of a week or 2 weeks, the insurance company that had insured Kenya Petroleum Refinery was in the city, hunting down lawyers who could trace the victims of that fire, their families, and compensation was almost like being forced on the victims of the families before they could even grieve through the people who had lost their lives. Let me say, entities of this nature, especially KPC, please do not have an insurance company that is not able to shoulder the responsibility of the work you're doing. It shouldn't be like that. So I'm hoping, Honorable Chair, the next meeting on Dange, we must bring issues to closure. Let all the entities come, they are given timelines, and they return a result where we can say we have now shut down this file. Because if 10 years we have not resolved this, and we are the same people who are blaming the court for delaying processes and matters, is this not in the same process? We shouldn't do it that way. I think we can do better. I think the entities can do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Now we can go to questions because, those were comments. Yeah. And we've agreed that there is a task force already in place. We'll invite them and we'll go to Council with a big space where everybody will come. If you remember last time, CS, we invited you with the CS, also energy, but, our timelines could not synchronize. But this time we will synchronize. Senator Latama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me engage the Cabinet Secretary strictly on the matter of Section 118 of the Public Health Act, Cap 242. If my memory serves me right, it talks of a public health nuisance. And I'm happy that you have finally recognized that the oil spillage of Thanke is a public health nuisance. Regardless of the position the court is taking by issuing a stay, I want to appreciate the position you've taken by stating that you're going to issue KPC with a statutory notice. And I hope that you can define it further, because in the last meeting where we were here with KPC and NEMA, this committee resolved that NEMA issues a full restoration order, which it did. The other thing that we had actually raised as a concern was that we wanted the entire 42 kilometers area condemned, meaning having all those people moved out of there. So I want to hear from you the steps that you're going to take in ensuring that you implement this Public Health Act especially the statutory notice that you're going to issue to KPC. That is what will be able to bring closure here. Secondly, I've listened to you narrate on the reports, but I'm just curious to know whether the ministry has carried a comprehensive epidemiological studies to be able to understand the issues of these benzene and other contaminations that could be in the area, and if it has already been able to carry out some public, awareness of the dangers in that region. Because unless the ministry carries out a comprehensive epidemiological studies of the area, all these issues that we are hearing could actually be people could say they're just hearsays. Although this committee visited the region, and my colleague was alluding to the fact that even the mango had oil in them. But you see, when we have studies, they can be able to help. I'm cognizant of the fact that around the world, there are studies that have been taking place. When during the Gulf oil spill, there are studies that took place in the United States of America, in Canada. There are studies that took place by the Ministry of Health, by those governments, and those helped in terms of dealing with this. So, finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to focus on this issue of this Public Health Act. Please, Cabinet Secretary, tell us and tell the public the steps you're going to deal with this public health nuisance so that we solve the problem once and for all. I don't want to dwell into issues of comments of KPC. My concern is strictly on Section 118, and I'm happy that you've taken that bold step. The last time Section 118 was taken was during COVID. So this is a similar issue to COVID because it is affecting the life and generations of the people of Thanke. So please, Cabinet Secretary, can you take us through that journey? And keep in mind the restoration order that was resolved by this committee, and in terms of that, and even considering condemning the entire region and moving that population to another area. Those are the key things that I'd like to engage you on. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I really want to suggest what my former Secretary General of my party, who gave me and signed my nomination certificate, and ultimately I won my seat in 2022, Honorable Veronica. It's only her and very few people like Anyang Nyong who signed certificates for me. When I go to Kisumu, I always look for Anyang Nyong and but I think from even where Honorable Senator Lekina and Manzo are saying, and I agree with, I don't know why she left, Honorable Beatrice. She's right. She read my body language. I am not myself today because it's not squarely a health matter, And I read this thing the whole night. This morning, my people, we went and had meetings since morning because I like being very honest particularly with the Parliament, the answers I give. So, Chair, I think I will suggest that you need to call all of us, starting with the county government of Makueni, the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Environment, which was my former ministry, the Ministry of Health. All of us, if you can look for county hall, we come and, face each other. This idea of silos is what I am dismantling in the corridors of Afi House. When you meet people individually, they don't take responsibility. And it is a very serious matter. Because we are talking about cancer, and I will tell you from the 2023 report, Chairman, we have about 48,000 annually Kenyans who are victims of cancer. About 33,000 die every year. We've just had this week and it's number one, that cancer is breast cancer, then you go to cervical cancer, and most of it because they are not detected. So we are fighting and putting a lot of equipment in our hospital. I was in Jaramogi where we had a mammogram machine. And I'll give you an example. The company, the first day they tested, just a testing of with about 100 women, 20 of them were positive. That tells you there was no sensitization. So we want to go now to sensitize. That was just to test the machine. The same we have again with the kidney. Kidney is a very, very serious. And now these are two ailments that are the result of this PLH. So we cannot play around with the health of the people. And the Honorable Senator Veronica said that it's me who brought before Parliament when I was a Minister for Environment under NEMA the regulations for the polluter pay principle regulation. Is a very strong global standard piece of legislation. If your byproduct, for example, I'll just give an example. If Coca-Cola bottle is found in Nairobi River, or if a package of a milk company is found in the Nairobi River, it is not the business of the consumer. The parent franchise company will come and clean the river. So from where I sit, Kenya Pipeline Company, our own company, a Kenyan company, should have a moral duty to be cognizant of the health of our citizens. And I think 2.8 billion, based on the profits they make, is not much. The reason why they're being privatized, I was in cabinet and I have a collective responsibility. We want Kenya Pipeline to join the league of Safaricom, the league of Kengen, companies that make profits. Even Kenya Power Lighting Company is made 30 billion profits just because the private shareholders now are running that company. So privatizing Kenya Pipeline, I think, is a good thing for our country, but I think Kenya Pipeline, and I am not the Minister for Energy, I don't want to be misquoted out there, but I think the health of the citizens is important. Number two, Honorable Ekina, when a restoration order is done, as a former environment minister, is a very, very serious legal instrument. So I don't know whether that restoration order is complied with. But I want to assure you that, and that's why I cited Section 118 on Public Health Act. And I will share with this committee. Before the end of today, I will do whatever the Public Health Act is supposed to be done. I will issue that order to Kenya Pipeline, and I will copy the chairman and through the clerk of this committee. Because I want to do my bit as a Minister for Health. I mean, the health of our people has been entrusted with me and the men I work with. That's why you see the PS and the DG, who is the technical advisor to government and to the CS on matters health, in line with Section 10 and Section 11 of the Health Act. So I think you need to call us to order. I mean, we should not, and I again don't want to, I believe in the rule of law, but I think we should not hide under sub judice rule. And Parliament must help me that on certain occasions when it's about the health, 10 years is too long. So if you take us another 5 years, then how many people will die in that area? So I think Parliament has the teeth. Call us. As we wait for the compensation, we must deal with the health of the citizens, the environment, the detection of the whole line in terms of spillage. I think I'm happy the committee wants to visit the whole line, because we don't want to be caught up again with another Thange community. Yes. So Chair, Honorable Manzo has really done, he has given the numbers, the 4 billion, that it's not my space, it's for the Ministry of Energy, but I will not be accused, Honorable Lekina and team, I will not be accused of abdicating my role. I will comply and I will issue all the instruments under the Public Health Act today.
Mr. Chairman, if you allow me just for 2 seconds. I actually think, and I stand corrected here by the legal department, that Section 118 supersede or circumvent any court order or any argument of sub judice. Because I think that's the power that you've given, and an oil spillage by all means and measures is a public health nuisance, which is defined there. And so I think in this case, even before we call all of you in the same room to be able to go back and pick in ponky and say this and this and this, I think I'm happy with the direction that you're saying you're going to take, which is in line with Section 118. When we resolved in this committee for a full restoration order to be issued by NEMA, we're also cognizant of the fact that it's a very powerful tool. So I think those two, in line with those two, until those issues have been resolved, until your actions have been implemented, and the other environmental ministry actions have been implemented, I don't see the need for us to come back into this meeting and see and discuss. Because what are we going to be saying? Unless we'll be giving a status update on what has been done. But if we are meeting just to say the obvious facts, it will just be wasting our time.
So Mr.
allow me to clarify?
Buenos Dias, I think the direction you have taken is the correct direction. Because Buenos Dias, the issue of health, the issue of environment, cannot wait for court orders on the payments. The court orders which are being awaited for have nothing to do with health. The court orders which are being awaited for are issues of whether the fines which they were given, what they paid was sufficient or not. And they have appealed. The courts had given orders and they have appealed against those. And those are separate issues. What the issues we are discussing are issues of the health of the people. And when we were there on the ground, we also had a public rally with the people around. And we were very close with Kenya Pipeline because they did not take that matter very seriously. They sent a junior officer, and we sent the junior officer away. We told them that we wanted the head of KPC himself to come and appear before us and tell us, because this is, even though you are saying health is a devolved matter, but this is a policy issue. This is not an issue of health being devolved. And as you say, it is a multisectoral issue. On the ground, we went as multisectoral, but at a little lower level. But the suggestion you are making is now to elevate it to the level of CS, of the CS as the CS of health, the CS of environment, and the CS of energy, and the CS of to do with the devolution. That is the deputy president. Is the one dealing with the devolution. So we need to elevate it to that level, and let us sit somewhere in a hall or in a parliament where we have the whole space and discuss these issues openly. when CS, we are also planning to go and look at each possible leakages on, and also look at the controls that the Kenya pipeline is putting in place to control any possible leakages which can create another Thange. Because we never know, we might be discussing about this Thange and another Thange is happening elsewhere, affecting the livelihood of Kenyans. So, Bwana CS, I really appreciate your stand that you are going to proceed to take action from here, and we will be very happy to see that action taken on the issue of privatization of KPC. That is a separate issue. We have agreed with the Cabinet Secretary of Energy that we have organized a retreat with him. We are going to discuss this openly and in details so that the public can understand how this institution is going to be privatized. We don't want it to be a secret. We want it to be an open thing so that Kenyans contribute and agree that it should be privatized or not. Let Kenyans have a say whether it should be privatized or not. Of course, our view is that it should not, but that might not be the view of Kenyans. So that is another issue we are going to deal with. I understand it is passed in cabinet. It is a Nini responsibility, but please don't deal with it now. Let us deal with it in another. Yes, yes. So members, unless
there was something, Senator Olekina asked, and my complaint always when I was here in this house is that it's not good for members to ask questions and then they leave. But yeah, it happens in both houses. But because there is the Hansard, he asked me about the epidemiology research we have done, and that's why you see, if you look at the matrix developed by the stakeholder on human health, there is an element of where KEMRI is coming in. The lead agency is KEMRI, MOH, and KEMRI is a prime now institution, strategic institution on research, and they were to do that. And the funding was only about 5 million shilling, and KPC did not provide. So a lot of these could have, if you look at the last column, KPC did not provide. I don't want to indict a state agency run by my colleague, a very good colleague, friend of mine, who was the former minority leader of the National Assembly. But I think I'm duty-bound to do my bit. I will talk to the lawyers, even at the AG and the ones in the Ministry of Health, on whether the public health instruments we are going to issue to KPC on that matter will have effect. I think if it is about the compensation, what is in court, I don't think so. The DG is here, the PS is here. We will discuss. But before the end of the day, we will do our bit as Minister of Health. Yes, I will do what the Public Health Act empowers me to do, me and my colleagues in the ministry.
With your kind permission, if I may, I just highlight a little bit for the benefit of the CSO that I want to thank him. I thank you and your committee for very precise action. Section 118 says you remove or gives an order for the polluter to remove that substance. The report by Water Resource Authority, which is updated every year, shows large amounts of oil deposits within the soil structure. And I think if you look at that particular report, CS, it will help you a lot. So that on the compliance of 118 of CAP 242, that really guides you as to what specifically KPC should do, because it is able, from their science, they are able to show, even on the rock structure, the deposits and the amounts and which are still there and have been sinking slowly. And I believe it's doable. If you look at what has happened to other countries, there is a way of dealing with petrol or oil products poisoning, whereby something can be done and you reduce the effects. I believe your ministry has sufficient experts on that. So I wanted really to thank you on that and say that the moment a stay has been issued by the court, it doesn't bar us from doing anything. It's only the award which has been stayed, and I believe that matter will take another 4 or 5 years at the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. So the first act we take as a House and as a government headed by the Minister for Health, the better for the benefit of the people of Thanke, is we await the outcome of the courts, because right now there's no lawyer who can force KPC to do anything. It is state, it's gone to Court of Appeal, and I believe it will be there for some time. So I really want to thank the Minister and thank the Chair and the committee for the quick action you have taken with the information you have gotten. I thank you.
No, Chairman, I think I'll do two things as I deal with the issue of the Public Health Act. I will also write a letter to my colleague, the Minister, and on why this budget was not available, particularly to the Ministry of Health and the other stakeholders, including the county government of Makueni, so that we do due diligence and do what we are supposed to do in line with the law, and then at the same time use this basis that now I have no other option other than invoking the Public Health Act.